Hello everyone and welcome to another video of Love and Wargames. In this video, we are covering the city-states War Chariot, and even though it says this is a Skorpios, it's a dual kit, so we'll be able to build the other versions, and we're quite excited. It's the first time we have a Chariot model being released for Conquest, so the city-states are the first. It's basically two stands, and it makes sense, of course. So the other version, I will like to see it written because it's a Greek word. It's a Flogobolon, or the Skorpios, and I really like the style of the miniature, and I cannot wait to see how it looks inside. The thing that makes me a bit worried is that when I received it, it's making a little bit of noise, and well, we'll see how it looks once I open it. As always, there's going to be two parts. So first we're going to open it and see how it looks inside, and then there's going to be a second part where we're going to talk about how to play them, the two variants. For the first time in a while, the two variants are quite close to each other, but they have their own specificities, so it might get quite fast. We've already talked that this is very much expected to finally bring some powerful ranged firepower to the city-states, which for now we're just counting on their salaries, and yeah, it's not so good. This is really a good unit. So let's have a look how it looks. If you want to buy it for the cost of, I think it's like 60 euros, which is expensive for the miniature. I hope it looks very good. You can buy it from Parabellum with minus 10%, which makes it much easier, with the code LOVE10, and then we get some cash, let's call some money back from it. So thank you very much if you do this. And yeah, this is tactically a very cool and interesting unit, but before we go to the Tactica, let's open the box. Okay, moment of truth. Is it resin? Is it plastic? Okay, it was just some plastic moving around. So, and it was the bases that were making this sound. Of course, they're not in a little plastic bag as always, so they were just flying around. So nothing is broken. Everything is good. Let's have a look at the unit card. Scorpio we understood, but this is a flamethrowers actually. Okay, that explains some name of some rules, and I thought it was a harpoon or something. Well, you have to make a OSL effect, like if you have this version, of course, it's gonna look amazing. And I like that this flamethrower driver, like shooter, doesn't have a normal helmet, but like a flamethrower guy, so of course he wants to protect himself. You have one plastic sprue and a half. Yes, that is going to be it. You have the two lions, which, first of all, how cool is that? It's carried by armored lions, like amazing. Whoever had this idea is amazing. You have the face here. You have the face that is right there, the wheels. And yeah, I have to say it's a bit expensive, this unit, for just one sprue and a half. Like usually I say that compared to Games Workshop, the units of Conquest are reasonably priced, and here, I mean, I love the concept, but for a unit that is a little bit cheap and that you might want to buy three of, I'm like, but if you buy this, for sure use the LOVE10 code, because you don't want to overspend on this. And the sprues look good. Like, I mean, look at this armor, like this looks insane. Like with a marble effect, you can really enjoy playing this. And the lions are very detailed. If I zoom in, you know what, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Highly detailed lions. The wood looks like wood we're used to this from Conquest by now, from Parabellum. Not a lot of variations. The body of the driver, of course. I'm not sure how you call it, like the pilot, the charioteer. How you call this guy? Like, it's been a while since I saw the video. I forgot how you call those guys. Few heads, I believe. Different weapons, of course. This is going to be for the Scorpio. This is going to be for the flamethrower, the Flogobolon. And we like the Arcane Punk armored arms, of course. And let's take a look at the instructions, because I don't want to say you guys things about customization options or not. Okay, so you have a specific option for the Flogobolon, and for the Skorpios, it's going to be different. Yes, with a different head. Alright. It does look like that apart from the heads and the weapons, we see the first head of the Skorpios here, but apart from these two little customization options, you don't have much. Like, you cannot customize it that much. I think this is the head for the Flogobolon, and indeed it protects from the flames and the throwing of burning liquid. But apart from this, like, not many customization options. I think having one of those is going to be great because, well, it looks amazing, and it has a very cool tactical role, and you will want to have this. But yeah, it's a bit pricey, I have to say. like unfortunately. And yeah, the first time when I'm like, I cannot wholeheartedly recommend buying like 3 of those if you want to see an army. Like, you will be happy. Will you get your money's worth? I don't know. But as we said, like the miniature, the art direction is amazing. But the main reason why you want the War Chariot is because it is a War Chariot. It has some very cool rules, and we'll talk about all of this in the Tactica because damn, this thing you want to play. Like, it's not OP. Like in the beta version, it was absolutely OP. Now it's strong, and it's just like tactically, it's gonna bring so much fun to your city-states army. So that is what we're going to check right now. If you leave already, give us a thumbs up. Always helps. Give us a comment as well, because you get a chance to win some dystopian wars or badass. And yeah, that's a lot of miniatures that you might win. You get a ticket for each comment. And without further ado, let's talk about how you can play those guys.
And let's start this Tactica. So it's going to be quite short because there are only 2 variants and they're quite close, but let's go in detail and talk about what they bring to the city-states. And it's quite interesting. Thing to note, we take the army list of the 28th of May, 2024. So if there is another update later, be careful because things might have changed. The first one we will talk about is the Flogobolon, so the flamethrower version. And this guy, it's a medium regiment, a chariot. And being a chariot, it means, well, basically it moves a little bit like cavalry, but it's a unique model. You have only one stand, like you have 2 stands, but it's for like one unit. And yeah, it's quite independent for 130 points. It means that it's quite maneuverable, like when you compare to large regiments that are in the line. This you can really like try to sneak between some regiments. And if you want to make some flank attacks, it's going to be great. This regiment, the Flogobolon, is not the one that is the best for flanking attack and stuff. I will move the logo so you can see a bit better the beautiful weapon. So there are quite a few things to say. It's 130 points, cheap. It has 10 wounds, so quite risky to have this guy, because usually even if you have only, I don't know, 4 wounds per stand, it's still gonna give you 12 because you're gonna have 3 stands minimum. So this is quite fragile for its point cost. It has defense 3, which is actually not bad, especially with hardened 1. So it will not melt instantly, this guy. If it gets shot by a big pack of, I don't know, slingers, for example, yes, he's not gonna enjoy and he's gonna die. But apart from that, if it gets shots by, I don't know, whole ballistae from the Duegomes, it might be able to quite fight back. It has 6 attacks in melee, which can be useful, especially if you want to take advantage of Impact 3. But this is not the real thing you wanted. Those Chariots, this guy and the Skorpios, are gonna be shooters. It has barrage 7, but it has a special rule called Condensed Propellant, which makes much more sense now that we know that it's a flamethrower. And this guy always has effective range whenever it shoots. So it only shoots at 10 inches, so don't think like you're gonna be insane, but it means that even at 10 inches, you do get the +1 shot from being usually at half range, effective range. So you're always gonna shoot at barrage 8. But you don't gain anything more when you are within 5, but that's fine. You have a few interesting rules. The first one is going to be weapons platform. Maybe not all of the chariots will have this, but this is really a shooting platform. So it always counts its flanks as being the front for the shooting. So it means even if you if you roll by a unit, you can shoot on the side with the full potential. Usually you can only shoot in front of you when you're shooting unit. So that's quite convenient, and because you are very fast, we'll see there are some other ways to get even faster. This means that this guy has a role where the Flogobolon specifically will stay kind of like behind the his own hoplites or something, probably to get some protection. But then when there is an opening, like because some units, enemy units lost some stands, you can really sneak past them, flank them, and shoot them at the same time. So that is going to be very, very convenient. Do note that it's only about volley actions that you consider your flanks as your front. So you cannot flank, like go past someone and charge them from the flank. That's not how it works. It's only about shooting, but still a very good rule. These guys then have some very, very interesting rule. It has dead shots, first of all, and that's already going to be very interesting. It means that it always counts as having aimed. So you will never be like, oh, like very static, like, oh my god, I don't move because I want to aim and then I shoot. That would be boring and you wouldn't move at all and it would not be in the theme of the unit. So the first rule is that you always count as having aimed, so you never have to take the aim action. So you have volley 2, but it means you concretely will always shoot at volley 3. Interesting. Give you some space, some capacity to make a movement and then shoot. And then you have a draw event that is fire in advance. It means if your second action is a shooting action, you can make another movement. And yeah, that is very, very convenient, because what this basically means is that you will make a movement, full movement, 7, good speed, cavalry speed, good. Make a movement of 7, you shoot at full potential anyway, and then you move again. So this guy, if it wants, like if you want to just stop, you tell your lines to chill, and then you just use it as an artillery piece, basically, because you are mass 2, you are size 2, because it's a chariot, so you can shoot over your hoplites, which is a huge boost, because you don't have a huge range, so being able to just chill behind your mechanical hoplites, or your paladin hoplites, or your normal hoplites, or your agemas, all these guys that will hold the line, you can shoot over them, and that's a huge boost to your durability, because the enemy will not be able to take advantage of your short range to, like, yeah, okay, you shoot at me once, but then I move and charge and kill you. No, you can have some infantry covering you, and that's going to be extremely efficient. And the Flogobolon is very much one that will enjoy being just behind some hoplites. It also has something that I forgot. It has the rule flank, which means it can always come automatically when you decide, and that will be convenient because you want it fast on the table, but you also want the hoplites, which are medium, to come at the same time. So this will allow you to have your hoplites come first, and at the same turn have your Flogobolon being on the flank or just behind them as a fire support. So important that it has the rule flank. So this guy is fast. This guy can shoot, can move, shoot, move, and you can do it basically all the time. And that is already something good. Something we didn't say, it's 8 barrage that you will shoot or armor piercing 1. So most of the time, even against, I don't know, well, except against duogomes, but against most factions, armor piercing 1 is going to be very useful. And yeah, like, I don't see any reason not to use it, especially when you consider the second rule, which is torrential fire, which means that when you make a volley accent action against an enemy in effective range, remember that you're always in effective range, so even at 10 inches it works, every 2 successful hit rolls will make an additional hit. So you're gonna launch 8 dices. On average, you're gonna make 4 success, because clash 3. It means you're gonna have another extra 2 hits for free. And there's gonna be 6 hits at armor piercing 1. It's annoying for your opponent. That's for 130 points. I would say that it's a good unit. Like, it's not OP, it's a bit fragile, but it's very fast. And as soon as you see a breach behind your enemy lines, you can just go behind them, charge them, flank them, attack them, shoot them, like try to shoot them as long as possible, because it's not a melee unit at all. And yeah, you can just breach their line, and it's a medium unit, so you can start to capture the enemy objectives way behind. The Skorpios does it a little bit better, as we will see, but still, like, this guy, hidden behind hoplites, has a amazing 10 inches fire support with barrage 8, armor piercing 1, torrential fire, dead shots, good artillery piece. I mean, there are a few armies that would be jealous to have this. And we switch to the second version, the Skorpios, and there are a lot of things similar. Same defense, resolve, wounds, attack, volley, clash, movement. It has fire in advance, steal, which is important, so again, move, shoot, move. Dead shots always, so again, always at volley 3, good. Also weapons platform, which means you can shoot it from the flank, and this is going to be even more important because the main difference with this guy are going to be the 2 special rules. Like, it doesn't have torrential fire and counting as effective range, which was the flamethrower part. It doesn't have this anymore, and it has a different weapon. The weapon is very similar in the sense that it's going to be barrage 8, so when you're at half range, barrage 9, but similar. It shoots further, something important. It shoots at 16 inches. Armor piercing 1 as well. Weapons platform, impact, out and flank, all the same. The big difference with this guy is that it will not have torrential fire, it has rapid volley, which means that each hit roll of 1 makes another automatic hit. It's like exploding hit. For you know this type of game, like when you make a 6, you make not one hit but 2 hits. You know this rule. It's a rapid volley. It's a relentless blow in Conquest in melee, and it's a good roll. It's a good roll. I think it's quite similar statistics-wise to a torrential fire. Someone tell me in the comments, but if I'm mistaken, but for me it is about the same thing, especially when you are at volley 3. The thing that is very interesting, and I mean it very interesting, is that this guy has a special rule called exploit flanks. You remember the Flogobolon, we said that you can make a breach and then go through your enemies, like between the little slot, because this guy is just one stand wide, like it's 2 stand long but 1 stand wide, so you can really like go between the enemy regiments, and because of weapon platforms you can shoot left and right. Well, this guy is even more incentivized to do that, because first of all, if you shoot from the flank, the enemy doesn't have shield, like doesn't have all the benefits from being shot in the face. Not having shield is usually like equivalent to -1 defense, always good. And the other thing is like exploit flanks mean that when you shoot, okay, the enemy will have to reroll defense rolls of 1 when you shoot them in their flank or in their rear, even better. So that is quite huge. Like, doesn't matter morale because it's shooting attack, but basically going on the flank with this very fast unit that again move shoot move with movement 7, you ignore their shield with this and you make them reroll defense rolls of 1. This guy for 130 points, same cost, can do a lot, like really a lot. This guy really wants more than the Flogobolon. I don't know how to pronounce Flogobolon. Tell me, Flogobolon? Like, if someone knows how to pronounce that, please help me. But unlike the Flogobolon, which wants to be behind hoplites for a while and just use their 10 inches range flamethrower very efficiently, almost defensively, like as artillery, this guy wants to just run behind the enemy lines, either between some regiments, or even better, if you really, with a big range, put them far away from the fight, and so they can shoot with their 16 air ranges, which is huge. It's still like, it's good range, and shoot them from the flank. They will be able to do that because, again, they're fast, they have dead shots, they have all the good tools, and either you do the same as Flogobolon, which is making a little zigzag between enemy regiments, but it's dangerous, they are not very resilient, or they can really be like kind of like flanking snipers, and this is how I would use the Skorpios. And yeah, I love that it brings this fast, shooty gameplay that the city-states just didn't have before. You had some deep strikers with the satires, some shooters with the satires as well, and that was it. Like, the city-states really didn't have access to any of this, and now they do. Like, they were very, very tanky, very good at having great infantry, but now you can have 1 or 2 Skorpios or Flogobolons, and they will be able to just be an absolute nuisance. Like, the nuisance of having 1 Skorpios on the flank is going to be way more than 130 points, because your opponent will have a lot of trouble to catch them, and they will have to do something about it, because otherwise you have this fast flanker that will shoot very efficiently in your flanks, and then if the enemy ignores it, like, you are fast enough that you can really, again, threaten the backfield objectives. Amazing. I really love both units. Well, you know me, I'm a Dwagon player. I would probably play more the Flogobolon because I love artillery. I just don't like the Drakes, and that's why I don't have any of them and you don't see them in battle reports. But I like this concept of having a line of infantry with shooty units behind. I really pray for shooting brutes in Dwagons at some point. But for the city-states, it goes very well into their gameplay. Like, if you don't want to change your lists too much, you remove like few things left and right, 1 stand of this, 1 stand of that, and you add a Flogobolon. I will just switch back, and then it stays behind your hoplites and it just had some extra firepower. The game plan stays the same, and you have when you want, if you need some extra mobility, great. And if you really want to have some mobility to answer some fast flankers of your opponent, because you can shoot them very well, or you want to be annoying to your opponent, add some Skorpios, and then you're going to have all the mobility you need, and maybe magnetize, because there is really just the weapon in the head that changes. So make sure you can change, or if you play only one of them, you can proxy it, actually, probably yes, or magnetize if you can, because the Skorpios, I would recommend you play it at least once. If you play Conquest and the city-states are your only army, play it because it's going to be so fun to finally have a very fast flanking unit that is not fast just because it's deep striking, like I'm thinking about you, Satais. And yeah, plus the model, it's amazing. Do you need 3 of those? Probably not. Probably not. Do you need at least like just one magnetized so you can have some fire support or flankers depending on what you need? Yes. I would recommend City States players to buy just one, because the miniature is insane and it's gonna be a lot of fun to put on the table. It's gonna bring a lot of new tactical options for you, and it's gonna be enough. You will probably never want to spam like, I don't know, 6 of those across the themed list because they're quite fragile and it's not gonna be great. But having just one is just gonna be so cool. But for the price, yeah, just one is enough. Like, you will have a good time painting it. It's gonna be fun. Your enemies will love seeing it on the table because it looks amazing, and it's gonna bring a lot of fun into your games. But apart from that, yeah, it's gonna be enough. And okay, that is going to be it. I hope that you enjoyed this short video this time. It's quite rare that we have a short video for Conquest. If you enjoyed, as always, give us a thumbs up. It always really helps. And give us also a comment. As we've said, you can gain some dystopian war stuff. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And yeah, do expect some more Conquest battle reports very soon. We had one of our main Conquest players that has been a little bit busy recently, so we could not record much. But we're gonna start a lot. Like, I know that some of you are already excited that there's gonna be some more First Blood content, and yeah, I'm very excited as well. I only have Dwagums, but I have my own city-states forces that are being painted, and they have a very specific theme. Like, I think you guys will love it. When I receive my first block pack for the city-states, I probably will make a little unboxing or miniatures review because I would like to share it with you. They're being painted like they're insane. And until then, let me know if you're a city-state player. Are you interested in the Chariots? Like, did you play city-states because you don't want shooting or flanking units and you're like, yeah, not for me? Or are you very excited to have an option to bring in your list? Let me know in the comments. And until the next video, take care of yourself and remember to keep things fair in love and war games. Bye!